Good morning, it's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself, and today we're celebrating my 2-year walk-iversary, walking every day for 70 minutes a day, which has been over 6 kilometers a day. Every day is my route for 2 years without missing a day. This means my birthday, this means New Year's, this means Christmas, this means when I'm sick, this means when it's thunderstorms, blizzards, snowstorms, heat waves, whatever the fact is. I have never missed a day, and today we are going to get into it. I'm going to tell you what that has taught me and what I've learned over the last 2 years as a result. Number one, the first way walking every day has changed my life is that it has shown me, it has truly shown me that patterns can be created, and once a pattern is created, it simply becomes a part of you. So why is this so important? Well, for my first year of walking, and those of you who haven't seen that video, please go watch it. I learned a lot of interesting insights that year, in that first year of walking that's worth watching. In the first year of walking, I was in a lot of resistance every day. It's like I looked at the weather, I looked at my symptoms, whether I was tired or not, whether I wanted to do it, could I do it? My mind would come up with excuses like, but I'm so busy today, or it's not a good idea today, or the weather's just not good, or give yourself a break, or you've got a lot going on, or you're not feeling well, or your child's sick, or it's a thunderstorm, we're in an ice storm, you can barely walk on that road, it is too slippery. So my mind would come up with excuses, which is what the mind does best. And today's raining. This is a great example today. I'm out here, it's raining on my head, and it doesn't even faze me anymore. So it would never dawn on me anymore to pull and reach for excuses. So what this has taught me is that the subconscious mind is always, like I say in all my videos, scanning and searching for ways to keep you safe and protect you. And it is always looking for the easiest solution, the easy way out. So it will reach for any excuse, it will reach for any way that it can throw you off track. When you actually have decided and you want to go for walks and you do it, your subconscious will still thwart you because it is looking for an easy way. It will always take the safer, easier route, the more comfortable route, the route where you do less work, and that route doesn't always serve you. So you really need to see what your mind is doing and realize, oh, there's an excuse. Oh, there's another excuse my mind is giving me. My mind is very creative. Look at all the reasons and excuses it is coming up with. And if you go long enough, the excuses stop coming. Your mind realizes, like, I could give her the most creative, compelling argument not to do this today, and she's just going to continue to go. So one, I realized that your conscious mind can actually direct your unconscious mind, can actually direct with a lot of concentration and will and determination. It can actually override and make your decisions for your unconscious. So this is key to healing and life and everything, because the unconscious is what drives us. It's what drives all our patterns, our behaviors, our relationships, right? We do everything because of unconscious patterning, because we've learned to survive this way over years based on what's happened to us and as a way to self-protect. But when you realize that the conscious mind can actually take control of that unconscious process and just witness all these excuses coming up, witness the ways your mind is trying to get out of it, and just let them pass by, say no to them, and continue doing your walks, continue doing what you set out to do, eventually you will retrain your brain. And this key, walking every day, has led me to really not only believe this, but know this to be true. Because when you see it unfolding in front of you over a time period of 2 years, you understand the length of time, the consistency, and the commitment it takes to override this subconscious patterning that is keeping you stuck in your life. So if you are trying to make changes in your life and you can't, don't give up too soon. because it is hard work. It does take consistency. It does take mental effort. It takes a way of just allowing all of this noise and excuses to pass by and saying, no, this is what I choose. And eventually you break the patterns. So the very first year, I was still watching these excuses come fast and furiously. I was still in resistance to walking every day, yet I did it anyway. And in the second year, I was immune. I was basically immune to all the excuses that were coming my way. I was immune to the weather. It doesn't matter. Like today is raining. It didn't matter to me. It doesn't matter. When I would miss, I always do it at the same time, but if I would miss that for some reason, it wasn't even a question that I had to do it later in the day. It wasn't even a question whether I was going to walk. It was when I was going to walk. Even my family was trained in the second year to know like that their attempts to sabotage, unconsciously of course, my walking by needing me or needing my attention. There's a lot going on, stopped. And they also just accepted, like, when is mom gonna do her walk? It was never a question. Everyone just has fallen into on the second year that this is me. This is what happens. So the first year was like, I'm gonna get to a year. I'm going to reach my goal. So this is what we do, I think, with everything in life. If we're trying to lose weight, or if we're trying to get in shape, if we're trying to eat a certain diet, if we're whatever we're trying to do, we set a goal. Might be 30 days, might be 60 days, we might go for the full year. And we count it down looking for a way out, right? When that year comes, I'm gonna get to the end, and then I don't have to do it anymore, and I will have accomplished what I set out to accomplish. But you realize along the way that there is no end, right? So in the first year, I was looking for the end. I was waiting for the finish line. And in year two, I wasn't looking for the end. In fact, my walk-iversary is not actually today. It was 2 weeks ago. And I didn't do the video because I didn't really think it didn't feel significant. Today I realized like, oh wow, you've got to do a video on this. The end date lost its significance. And that in itself is significant, because when there is no end date that you're striving towards, it just becomes you. The pattern becomes you. And when this happens, you're no longer looking for any ways out, because the end date is always the ultimate way out. I've reached my goal and now I can stop. The body is always looking for a way out. And when I realized somewhere in year two, I don't want an end date, I don't need an end date, and I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. There is no end date. I'm going to walk indefinitely, forever. Forever. And when that realization came over me, I knew, wow, people really can take action towards what they want and break their patterns, and it becomes not only a habit, but it becomes a lifestyle, and it becomes part of who they are. So this is transformation. So I've watched myself transform into somebody who is not resistant, who understands what excuses look like coming through, who basically like a superhero can thwart them off, and who understands that I can take my conscious mind and control and break my unconscious patterns. And then I can retrain that mind over a period of time to where it's not difficult anymore. It becomes me. And this is so key. So if you haven't started walking yet, please start walking. Walking is the key to healing. The reason I say that is because no, walking didn't heal me. The physical act of walking didn't actually transform my body. Yet it transformed me in ways that are difficult to express. So number one, the first and obvious one, is getting outside, breathing fresh air, getting your cardiovascular system working. So all of that is physical, and all of that is super beneficial, right? You're getting the oxygen move through your body, you're getting the lymph move through your body, you're getting the blood move through your body, getting your heart pumping, your lungs going, and you're breathing in fresh air, you're grounded to the earth, you're hopefully in a wonderful environment as you're walking, and you can breathe, you can de-stress, you can calm down, you're outside, you're in the environment, and this is healing. So the longer we can stay in our natural environment, the more opportunities we have to heal. Natural sunlight onto our skin and onto our body. So from a physical perspective, this walking is so critical and key to health. Number 2, emotional healing. This is where every day you take time for you. Your to-do list is gone. Your children aren't there. Your husband's not there. You can really, if you want, you can listen to things. You can do whatever you want to do. But my recommendation would be to meditate on your walk, to listen to your internal thoughts, to let come up and let rise what needs to rise, what needs to be felt, to feel, right? You're alone with yourself for hopefully an hour every day. This is your time. This is special time. This is a healing time. This is where insights rise. This is where deep feelings rise. For the first year, I used to cry a lot as I walked. Now, I've been walking for a lot longer than 2 years, but this is a consistent walk, a consistent amount of time, a consistent route every day. But I've been walking for about 5 years from the period of time where I could not walk. So it was a slow build. It wasn't consistent. I was pushing myself. It was more like physiotherapy walking where, one day I would try to walk from my door to the end of my driveway and back. And then maybe another day I would try to walk from my door, to the next person's driveway and back. So like building endurance and building stamina. When I say walking consistently, I mean walking like a normal healed person for 6 kilometers every day, for 70 minutes every day, and giving myself that hour every day to really look inward, to turn inward, to use it as my therapy time, to use it as my reflective time, my meditation time, my healing work time, my shadow work time. And it has been so beneficial to overall healing, to really looking inward, to doing that inner work necessary. Because it's often hard to do inner work when our lives are so busy and chaotic around us with so much going on. This time, this walk, not only gives you all the physical benefits you need, but it is your emotional healing time that you cannot get because you can detach from the rest of the world and look inward and feel and do what needs to be done to take your steps towards healing, to get those insights, to start to grow and transform. And so these are the big ways that walking has transformed my life. And I know it can transform yours too. So a couple of weeks ago when it was my walk anniversary, I decided, okay, I'm going to double this. I'm going to go for a 12 kilometer hike. It took me 2.5, almost 3 hours. I walked at full speed. I was so invigorated, so happy, feeling so good. And I realized in that moment, I can walk any distance. I don't have to build up my endurance anymore. It's built that I could literally walk any distance. I could go on a huge hike now. It wouldn't affect me the way it once did. And for those of you who don't know my story, let's go back. Let's go back to the days when I was chronically ill, where I had to crawl down hallways, crawl from my bedroom into my bathroom, call my husband home from work because I literally didn't think I could make it, 10 feet. These were dark days. This was a dark period in my life. Learning how to walk, walking from my door eventually to my mailbox just down the street, which would wipe me out for a week afterwards. So knowing from where I've came from to now just being a walker, to be able to do this, I'm just out here, right? Living, walking, and it's not a question in my mind anymore. Can I do this? Will this set me back? How far can I go? Right? I believe in myself. Number 4, I have built a deep belief in myself. The kind of belief and the kind of confidence that comes from realizing your abilities, to taking back control in your life, to really knowing at a deep level that you are capable of anything and everything that you set your mind to, and that the only thing that's getting in your way is your mind. And you can use your mind for you or against you in these situations to grow and transform. Building confidence in my abilities, in my physical abilities, but also deeper in my psychological abilities, in my beliefs. And last but not least, it taught me that each step you take is important, that truly healing is a journey. It's not linear. I didn't start out walking one day, learning how to walk, going from my bed to my bathroom, going down the street, like finally walking a distance, and then committing to this every day, and continuing to walk every day for 2 years and build my endurance. This wasn't a forward movement. This was, 2 steps back, 1 step forward, 3 steps back, 1 step forward, 5 steps back. This was more steps back than it was forward. It wasn't linear. And from the outside, when I first started walking about 7 years ago, if anyone would have seen it, what it looked like then, it didn't look like forward progress at all. And it certainly didn't feel like forward progress. One day I could walk, from my bedroom to the mailbox, and then it would wipe me out for 3 weeks. And I would, had I not have the hindsight now to look back and say, anyone who would say, well, I do something one day and then I have 3 weeks of lying in bed unable to function or move, that's not a good return. I shouldn't do that. I'm going to stop right here. Right, but now that I have the hindsight to look back, there were a lot more steps backward in my forward progress than there were forwards. And I think people don't talk about that enough. It always seems to me like it looks like forward progress when people talk about it. When they talk about reaching a goal that's very difficult, it always looks like forward progress, or it looks like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So it still appears that you're making progress. But what I've really learned is that deep healing, real forward movement on something that is very, very challenging can often look like 5 steps backward, 1 step forward. So it doesn't appear that you're going forward at all. And sometimes it can be 10 steps backward, 20 steps backward, 30 steps backward to get 1 step forward. And if you didn't know better, and I didn't for a long time, you would stop, you would give up. You would not believe in yourself. You would fall down into helplessness, hopelessness, and you would mistrust yourself, mistrust your abilities, mistrust your body, mistrust what you're capable of, and you would get discouraged, right? And you would start to reanalyze the problem and like, what am I missing here? And change tactics too many times. A lot of people in healing, I've learned, and I did this for years and years, change tactics. When something doesn't work, within 30 days, they change tactics. So if you know something's beneficial, if you know you want to move forward and you need to move forward on it, if you know that the long-term investment, this is a long game, will eventually pay off, and if you believe that, you must keep going through the difficult part that is a lot more difficult than people ever say. I walked through some horrific pain days. I walked through horrific moments and emotional wounds. I walked through it all. But when you keep going, when you keep moving forward, when you keep going no matter what is happening, when you let go of attachment to the results of what's happening and you just continue the process, you stop focusing on the progress and you start focusing on the process, that's when eventually you look back and you see the results. You see the progress, but you can't see the progress as you go. I've learned that it's just not possible. I mean, maybe in some journeys, like weight loss or something, it's easy to see the progress as you go, see the numbers coming off the scale, but it's not like that with many things in life, and it's a misperception that we have. And so walking has taught me that. And so if this is you, don't give up. Stop focusing on the progress. Start focusing on the process. Eventually, you will be like me, and it will be 2 years, right? That I have walked every day, no matter how I feel, no matter the weather. And I've learned and I've seen my physical body change, my emotional body change, my spiritual and mental body grow and transform and change. And it's not until you get far enough out that you can look back and say, wow, I really was making progress. Look at all the progress, right? And so I could right now keep walking, keep doing this every day for the rest of my life. I could also push myself. I could increase it to 12 kilometers every day, to that 3 hour. Now that would take a lot of time away from the rest of my life. I could turn it up a notch by starting to run or getting into other sports or other activities where now my confidence is at a level where I can accept that. And so those are some next steps that you can do, but you can't jump in and expect to see all these results at the beginning. Before you build up your own ability and confidence and trust in your own self and your own body, it also makes you see, hey, if I'm capable of this, what else am I capable of that I didn't even know, that is not even in my awareness, that I have no clue that I could actually start and work toward and I would be capable of doing. I mean, the sky is truly the limit here, and it helps you see what you're capable of. And if you put your mind to it, if you believe in yourself, and if you just take the steps every single day, you're capable of almost anything. So these are the amazing 5 things that walking every single day for 2 years, and only 2 years, mind you, consistently, once I made that goal to myself, once I made that commitment, I never broke my word to myself. And I think not breaking your word to yourself builds trust in yourself. It builds an honor to yourself, that like you are going to honor your commitment to you. And when you feel that, when you really resonate with the fact that you are committing to yourself and that you honor your word, that your word is like gold to yourself, it really starts to change you as a person. So I hope that this video has been helpful. I hope that you've learned some insights from this video and why I feel that it wasn't the act of walking necessarily that healed me, but it's everything that comes along with it. Such as with everything in life, when you make a commitment, it's not just the thing that you're trying to accomplish or the goal that you're trying to go towards, but it's everything. It's everything that you've learned and grown and changed along the way. And so my number 1 tip for you, if you are out there and you are trying to heal yourself, transform yourself, change yourself on an emotional, physical, or spiritual level, walk. Walk every day. Commit to yourself. Go on the journey with yourself. Give yourself the time, everything that you need physically, emotionally, spiritually to grow and transform. And walk. Get out there. Put on your rain jacket if it's raining like me. It doesn't even faze me anymore. But go out and walk. Give the time to yourself. You will watch yourself transform. And even if it's not walking, give yourself the time. Do something for yourself. Commit to yourself in a way that gives yourself what your body needs physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually in order to grow and transform and go towards the future that you want. You can do it. I did it. I hope this video has been helpful. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Lots of great videos are coming your way, and I have been doing walking videos for a long time. I promise once I move into my new house, I will be doing videos in a stationary spot that look a little bit more professional and that are easier, that you don't have to watch the bouncing around or listen to the wind or the weather. But for now, I have loved these walking videos. I hope you have too, and I will see you in the next video.